So today is a really super sacred day. This is our after party. So for all of you speakers who showed up here today, this is our celebration. This is our chance to commune, collaborate, see each other, be in each other's presence, create an energy, a frequency that's really going to expand out and make a difference in this world. Each of you are here for a reason. Each of you are on this season for a reason, and each of you are powerful change makers in the world. So first of all, I celebrate you, I honor you, I love and respect you, and I'm grateful for your presence and your service and all that you've contributed. And I know that this experience, this summit, Alchemy of Ascension, expanded states of consciousness, has expanded people's consciousness. I'm getting lots of emails, lots of messages every day about every single one of you, about how excited people are to find you, to join your lists. People are getting awakened, turned on, tuned in, activated, expanded, and enlightened through watching what you all contributed in service to this production. And so I really want to honor each of your roles in this, and not only in this production, but expanding out from there, your role in the ascension of the planet at this time. That is why we're here. That is what we're doing. All of us are in our own way, holding space and holding a certain frequency for the ascension of the planet and humanity. And we all have our own unique ways and frequencies and styles of doing that. And then for the VIPs that are here today, we have 50 VIPs. So for the VIPs that are here today and the VIPs that will be watching on the replay, thank you, each of you, for supporting us in this work, for supporting from behind the scenes. And I know many of you are stepping out into the forefront. So, and whether you're supporting from behind the scenes or you're in front of the camera or anywhere else in this process, we are all necessary. We are all needed. We all have our roles, and it takes a lot of people doing a lot of roles to do what we're doing, which is shifting this reality into a new frequency. And this is the time for that. We all know that. That is what we're here for. That is why we are here. And that is happening now. And so today, when I tuned in and asked, what is it that we're doing? Because I knew this was not any kind of traditional panel today. What we are doing is we as a collective are holding space for, and we're creating a container. We've already started this work just by being together and by doing what we've done with the Alchemy of Ascension season. But together in this space right now, we are coming together to create a frequency container for humanity, for the earth, for the upgrade. And so what I've been guided to do is to begin by, and I will unpin myself and then I'll put it on speaker, but I will begin with some words and some activation frequencies. And then I'll stop talking, and then I'm going to let each of you unmute yourselves and share from your heart, from your higher self, from your channel, from your divine source, whatever you want to call it, whatever comes through. And maybe it's light language, maybe it's toning, maybe it's frequency, maybe it's not words, maybe it's silence, and you're just, not just, but you're holding space. You're holding a frequency container. You don't even have to say anything unless you're guided to. This will be a creation of a frequency container for many, many people, for actually the human collective and for the earth to ascend into. This will create a portal of expansion so that we together in collaboration are holding space for something greater to happen, for expanded states of consciousness, for this reality to make the shift that we know it's making and that we're here to be a part of. And for all of you who are our VIPs, supporting from the background, please do stay muted and hold space for the speakers. You are equally a contribution to this energy field, holding space for everybody that is speaking. And I honor you for that. And I appreciate you for that, for supporting us and everyone here today. And Olivia, special thanks to you as our moderator, just managing that we don't have anybody come in with background noise, letting people in if they come late, and just kind of keeping an eye on holding space for things so that everything flows smoothly. So thank you so much, Olivia. All right, so let's start. Let's begin by tuning in. Invite you to bring your awareness to your breath. Anchoring your presence deeply into your physical body as you tune in to your heart center and the collective heart of humanity. Breathing in to this sacred heart space, connecting in to the earth, Mother Gaia, Gaia Sophia Christ, anchoring in her light and her heart energy, bringing that up into your heart center. And then bringing your awareness into central sun, that beautiful source energy of divine masculine light, anchored now into our heart centers, into the collective heart of humanity. As I call forward the highest self, the highest version of all of those present today and those watching at all future moments. I open a portal, we open a portal together to allow new ascended frequencies onto this planet, to allow these frequencies to be accessible to all who wish to join in the ascension today and moving forward in this now moment across all time dimensions, space, and reality, allowing this expansion to affect the grid work around the planet, to amplify the frequencies that are available to us, to block out the frequencies that would have humanity remain in fear or disempowerment, and to open up to the golden realm, the new earth, the expanded states of consciousness that are available to all of humanity now. I invite each one here to anchor in this light, anchor in the heart center. And as you feel called by the divine, I invite you to unmute yourself and share from your sacred space and channel.
Blessings and light, the sacred soul tribe, and Waxela with your beautiful, dazzling, sacred diamond heart. Embracing all of you and everyone here on this call for this beloved Sophia Christ. As I'm receiving this from the core of the purity white diamond flame, I share this with you. In this now. Imauakani miyahuti. Inamuakuati. Kuna watuma. Mahalo ako, mahayati, imintamua, unakini, inaratayamu, amtiaka, intiraka, miata, imtirama, kihata, imtirama, ki. The voice of the frequency of the diamond light is ever so present within the presence of our beloved mighty I am in this now. It is the rise. It is the call. It is the voice of the one that beats in the heart of all of us in that gracious essence. I choose to celebrate all of us and the sentient beings on Sophia Gaia, our walk of life, with the open inner book of revelation that has opened up, that each of us are now accessing and celebrating, because this ascension is a celebration. And I choose to celebrate all of it, however fold it unfolds, with all of you glorious, diamond, pristine, crystal, fabulous beings. May the radiance from the source essence that you come from, that you originate from, be the signature that ignites other hearts. Oh.
I just want to honor all of you. I'm so grateful to be a part of this and everybody who's here, and also the beautiful beings that are here on the VIP panel. Just honoring all of you for everything that you're doing. We are, as Waxela had said, we are anchoring in the light here, and we are bringing the higher vibrations here, and we're expanding it. And not sure if you guys are feeling this, but I'm feeling so much in my heart. Just feeling very, very full and very just loved from and supported. And this is the new way, is to love and support all of our fellow beings, our light beings, our starseeds, our warriors, all of it. And just to be in harmony with one another is, this is how it's meant to be. So I'm really grateful for all of you and all the work that you're doing. I've been watching a lot of you, but I haven't caught everyone yet on your presentations, but just really just honoring everyone and bringing it here. So I also want to just share a little bit of light language as well for this, just for all of you listening, and just to open your heart and just activate and upgrade and just be in bliss. So. Shiania tarian saran taransa. Shono no soto ya toro kanmi teri tera sanarate. Kuroni tura shani tesi tikira taranere se. Sura matetera tare. Kurushundari se. Uran taria sanateri iro karan sarayas ora. Shuroshum shira satu sayen ti si tiranare. Kurana tiri se kirar hal ashtoro so kurana tiri areantara. Marasonde cariente se cariando turo sho urashit narite se carianas. Urungorias tarnaras. Vridir irne urukoike kaite sakarite. Urushnitir itisa yakoyente santaye. Urashanditi ikro sotetea tayanas. Uranichi shuataki koranate marande kira. Soson asti sisira tari yuso korandati shariandaha. Otere as hina kayete ki hayete korana sayete. Huya hishia hoyana taikuayanta. Kaya se ishar osta koyana esti. Sirete kirata, urondi shirata si, urokuyete, narita sayenda yokuya sai, maritisi, uratatisa, harashin, arma, kora, satire, nariasa. Thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Would love to use the love and the energy of this group to do some manifesting with you. I'm going to do a little bit of Topican healing. So before we begin, I was just checking in, doing some divine muscle testing as to what percentage of folks an hour before the call were connected to the 0 point field, to that love field, to that manifestation creator field, and it's about 20%. And then as Waxela was beginning to speak, it rose to 60%. And we hadn't even done anything yet. We just were in this space. It was so exciting. And then at the end of what Waxela was saying and inviting all of us to share, we were at 97%, which was amazing. So I'd love to have some of this beautiful group energy to do some manifesting. So if you'd like to play along, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, I'd love for you to close your eyes if it's safe for you to do so, and just imagine a scene in our future ideal reality in your little corner of the world, wherever that is. So just imagine what it feels like to be in that ideal future reality where there is love, there's joy, there's peace, there's harmony and prosperity for all. Imagine a scene where you are happy, joyful, doing what you love to do. That could be knitting, that could be figure skating like me, that could be running on the beach, that could be kissing your children or grandchild, anything you want. And make it as real as possible. So what does it feel like in your body? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like if you happen to be tasting something? What does it, look like? Is the sun shining, or is it raining, or is it partially cloudy? Whatever it is you desire, just go ahead and make up that scene and imagine yourself fully immersed in it, fully embodying that. So I'm going to be silent just for a moment here, and I'm going to test when we are ready to do our transformation and manifestation. Okay, I'm getting a yes. All right, so I'm going to say a few Topican healing directives, and this will help to co-manifest this for all of us. So it's now commanded that anything preventing us from fully realizing these dreams, these ideal realities, be healed resolved in the highest and best way, all directions of time with speedies and grace. It's now commanded that any positive energies that would be for our highest and greatest good to download and activate be fully downloaded and activated now with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way in all realities where we exist. Thank you. And I am complete. Thank you for playing.
I want to bring in the empowerment of gratitude, the deep, deep empowerment of gratitude. I am Debra Giusti. First of all, I want to acknowledge the gratitude of the awareness we all have right now. We're all very special to have the insight, have the directives, have the soul knowing of what's coming right now, what's evolving within us, and what's transforming in the world. I'm deeply grateful. And for all the teachings that are available now. These teachings used to be available in mystery schools that you would spend lifetimes going to, but they're available to us now on Zoom with every teacher in our inner knowing. Thank you for the remembering we have now, for the deep remembering. And thank you for the guidance that we have now. All the ascended masters and galactics, all the higher beings are here to celebrate this transformation now. We thank you so much for all this support. And thank you for the soul tribe. Isn't it so amazing that we are seeing each other and recognizing each other and loving each other from all over? We all plop down in different places around the world, but this quickening has allowed us to come together and see each other and know each other and work together in high collaboration. And thank you for the transformation of the destruction. So many systems are breaking down now, even though it's scary and it might cause some fear, especially with others, beloveds that we know. We understand that that is not of the higher function that is going to be manifest needs to dissolve so the new can come up. And thank you for the visions of the new earth that we're all receiving now, that we're here to co-create together, that we're here to bring forward. And thank you so much for the love that is so present, the love that is the bottom line of this all. And I would like us all to pause for a moment and just open up our hearts and bathe fully and project the love frequency together. And be united together in this love frequency and project it all out throughout the world to all the people that were connected on this summit and all beyond that. Because love frequency is what we are here to bring forward and anchor on the earth for the new earth to be present. Love, love, love. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Waxela.
I am Gabriel, and the creative and expressive force resides within and through the hearts of all as they open to the alignment within all aspects of who you are. And we are honoring who you are in the moment and who it is that you are becoming. Life is about simplicity and thought, heart and action and intent. Awakening and understanding and honoring your true nature of being, and recognizing your divinity as Christed beings within and of this creation, and as the powerful creators of this experience. Grido surna matrasayen, nerekotroemo, notro sure, nerebatrayen, notre surem, anarese, nerotroj, miriten vod, guru surem, nerebatrayen, notre sen, not, nerebetren vore. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'll go next. My name's Amar, and one of the most beautiful things about what I do is often when I'm working with clients, things will come in, things that will just sort of erupt out of my mouth that I often make note of as I'm saying it or sharing it with the client. I think, oh, that was really good. I should write that down. And one of the things that came in with a client yesterday, who's in a big state of transition right now in her life, as I think anybody in a body right now is probably going through a similar experience. The message that came through was that the magic is in the mystery. And she is moving and pivoting. She's in a pivotal moment, what I call a bridge moment in her life. And what I know about the bridge is nothing ever makes sense on the bridge. And the bridge is when we're moving from one state to another state. And on the bridge, it's often everyone looking at each other saying, do you know what's going on? Do you know where we're headed? I don't know. I used to be really comfortable back there. That was where everything I knew was, and I don't know where I am. And nobody really understands the bridge, and that's okay. The bridge is also not the place where we set up shop or make a home. The bridge is part of the process. And so the message that was coming in for her yesterday was allow the mystery, lean into the not knowing. Allow yourself to not have an answer. And allowing yourself to not have an answer is what opens the door for spirit to come in and do her part of the work. You know, that's a reminder that I get time and time again is let spirit do some of the work. Energy is here to serve. And it's okay to show up and say, okay, spirit, I'm here. I don't know why. I don't know where. I don't know when or how, but I'm here. And that's enough. So the reminder was for her to dance with spirit. And the image that I was seeing as we were working together was a big ballroom. And she's standing on the side of the ballroom with all of the other people who are waiting to dance. And this partner came onto the floor and he was so good and so magical and so powerful. And he was flipping and spinning and doing all of these amazing moves. And she was standing there saying, I don't know, how can I possibly dance at his level? I'm a beginner and this is like a pro ballroom dancer. And the message was just allow yourself to be led. Allow yourself to be carried. You don't have to know to engage. You don't have to have all the answers to receive. And so the message that I was sitting with yesterday and even this morning was the magic is in the mystery. Lean into the not knowing. You know, we look at it from a quantum perspective as the superposition. And when something is in the superposition, it is nothing but potential. In the tarot, we call that the Fool, which is represented by the number 0. And we could call that the new moon or the void moon in astrology. And all of these states of 0, the not knowing before we've even made a step, before we've even stepped onto a path, being in that state of not knowing is where the miracles can occur. Being in that state of not having yet decided or judged or excluded or, said yes to allows us to be in this state of ultimate eternal possibility. And so I was sitting with that message this morning about the magic is in the mystery and to allow the not knowing. And in this state where so many of these systems, these monoliths that we have looked to for our safety and our well-being and our protection, we see them crumbling in real time. And I think there's this collective unease right now about where are we going? Where are we headed? And it's okay not to know. It's okay to trust the mystery and know that when the why is important, that we will get that too. That when the information that the mind likes so that we can find our place on the map, right? Define myself by my position, that will also come in time. But that for now, it's okay not to know. It's okay to let go of the idea of destination. It's okay to let go of the idea of having to arrive somewhere. And as I was writing this morning, I saw, when you peel an orange and you do it in the perfect spiral. Whenever I was a kid on Christmas, we would get oranges in our stockings. And that was always kind of one of the things that we would do is see who could peel the orange peel in a perfect spiral without breaking it. And I was meditating on that image this morning and I was looking at that and the orange peel just kept going and going and going and it would peel back and there was just more peel. And it was this endless unpeeling. And I thought, is it all just an unpeeling until we get back to source? Is it all just a journey of returning home, like the infinite waves returning to the endless ocean? And I loved that idea that there is no end to this spiral. And so we can relinquish this idea of, oh, am I on time? Oh, am I doing right? Oh, do I have the right vibration? Do I have the right frequency? Do I understand? And to dance with the mystery and understand that we are always being carried. We are always being cared for. Sometimes energy is the servant, and sometimes it's the master, but it's always here to serve. And when it's the master, it's not always as easy to allow ourselves to be guided through the dark, right? It's like pin the tail on the donkey and you have the blindfold on and you're trying to hit the target. But I like to rest in the idea that I've already hit the target on some level. On some level, there's nothing that is unknown. On some level, everything is clear. And if from my human perspective, I feel like I'm in the dark, then I can just do a trust fall back into that mystery and say, okay, you're going to have to catch me because I have no idea where I am or where I'm going, and that's okay. So I just wanted to offer that reminder to enjoy the mystery and to find the magic in the mystery and to dance with it. And it's okay if you feel like you're out of your league. It's okay if you feel like your partner is better than you or knows more than you, is more skilled or more capable. I would much rather be in the hands of an energy field that is eternal and infinite than connect myself with something who thinks that it knows and is determined about a right way and a wrong way. So I just wanted to share that message to enjoy the mystery and let yourself dance with it, because I think that's where the magic is. So thank you everyone for your sharing. Thank you everyone for showing up today. This is always a wonderful experience and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
I just am feeling the energy and the power of in bringing forth, invoking the indigenous shamanic peoples around the world and the highly evolved beings who are with us and supporting our evolution. Just invoking them at this time, really feeling the presence with you all who are so connected in so many ways to these energies that are so powerful. And for me, in my mission, which is telling stories, visionary stories, I am invoking that their storytelling, the power of shamanic storytelling to envision, to inspire, to mythologize the experience that we're having, to raise it to a level of divinity and majesty. Right now, we are seeing so much egoic storytelling in the world and seeing that we are, that humanity is projecting the worst of itself often and the worst possibilities for our future. So the visioning that we do and the stories that we tell are so important. And I'm so grateful to be among people who are telling new stories in the work that they're doing, and just invoking that we support storytelling that is visionary, that is seeing and holding a vision for conscious evolution and telling wonderful, fun, enjoyable stories that show this, so that, because it's what we put into our consciousness that we then manifest. And when we watch the stories that are so prevalent with Hollywood and publishing these days, it lowers our vibrational field. So I'm just bringing in the energy of manifestation, that there's more of that there's a publishing company that comes online that's a hay house for fiction and storytelling. That's been a vision of mine for the longest time, and that Hollywood comes into alignment with realizing how important these stories are. And if it has to go around Hollywood, then that's great for that to happen as well. So that when we turn on our screens, we open our bookshelves, our electronic bookshelves, there are so many opportunities for us to experience sacred story like there used to be when we would sit around fires and tell stories of our greatest possibilities. and perennial wisdom, local wisdom and perennial wisdom coming forth in around the fires. And I was given this message by a celestial being that I met in Sedona camping 1994. It started me writing, and she made it very clear that this is vital to the evolution of consciousness on the planet. And so that's what I keep doing. And I'm just so grateful to be here and just feel such gratitude. My vibration has lifted so much since we started this. And so I can really, really feel all of you so deeply. Thank you, Waxela. Your work has been incredible. And in the middle of a hurricane, I just am blown away by you. So thank you.
I have experienced a lot of people with repetitive voices that they're hearing, and they're thinking that it's their own voice, and it's not like the best messages. And so I would just encourage people, if you're hearing anything that doesn't necessarily feel good, that you're maybe such an empath that you're picking up what's going on. And I just want to encourage people to align with source and you, and do all the things that you can to ground, to shut these voices out. And just the awareness of it can actually be the thing that helps people switch. But diet is really important. You know, everything we can just to get outside and get in nature and recode with light and sun and vitamin D, and just take off your shoes, get in the water, get in, the dirt, get in the sand, lay in the grass, and just the comfort of knowing that maybe what you're hearing could be something way bigger than yourself. We need you. We need all of you. And I encourage you just to hang on and do the things to boost your frequencies, and just remember that we love you, and you are not by yourself. And there are many of us, and I just love all of you, and I appreciate all of your work, everyone watching and everyone here on the panel. Just thank you for your service and your light, and I hope this was helpful for people.
My name is Ann Spagna. For anyone who doesn't know me, I first want to just do a big shout out to you, Waxela. I'm just like, I really honor you, and I'm sure, you're just like this, but I just really feel already, and I barely know you, but I feel so much love for you and just gratitude to you. And I just admire you for what you've done and what you've created here, and how you've held space. And this is someone who's been interviewed by a lot of people. I think you were just off the charts, such an amazing interviewer about extracting out like what's meant to come through, and about creating sacred space and bringing people together. So thank you for not just for doing that for us, but just for humanity. We're all doing our parts, and you really did something amazing here. So thank you. I feel like I do know that I have a message to bring through from Melchizedek and Melchizedek order. But before that, I wanted to say, and I'm sorry, because I'm actually in the Fort Lauderdale Convention Center, and there's an expo here where I'm speaking this weekend. So you might hear some background noise. But I want to say something, that one of the reasons that I'm hearing already, I could just let Melchizedek come through and say this, but one of the reasons why we raise our vibration is that interference in the physical world is happening from a 4D bandwidth. We could just identify that as a label, but from a bandwidth, a frequency of density that we now have the capacity to vibrate through and above, so to speak, for a reference point. So beyond that, our frequency bandwidth can well exceed any form of interference in the physical world that's made up of density or that is fear-based. And that is our job as conscious beings, to come into that knowing that there is nothing in the external world that has power over us. There is no dark force. There is no sabotaging force. There is nothing that has power over us. And that the true game of ascension is to reclaim dominion over our own sovereignty, over our own frequency, over our own vibratory state of being, over our own consciousness. And in so doing, through the recovery of our divine source force and really the radiance of who we are, the light force that we are, that there is nothing that can penetrate or permeate that field as we build it and sustain it. So it's not just about, we don't just up level our vibration or raise our vibration once, we raise our vibration so that we hold the frequency of light, of sound, of love that is so pure, of vibratory frequency, that in so doing, through our vibratory space, not only are we impenetrable to anything that does not match or exceed our frequency of love, but we also become the uplifting force of all. And I would just like to say, and I don't want to talk too long because I can do that, but I do regular light worker boot camp frequency circles where we raise our frequency so high, and then we literally allow the divine to raise the frequency of Earth's consciousness through us. And we are all capable of this. That's why we're here. It's part of why we're here. So this is what's happening. This is happening on Earth. And the challenging part is that those of us who have not yet recognized that shadow forces are just aspects of our own self that we have not yet fully embraced, fully come into love with, fully honored and recognized as aspect of source self. That's just the part that we're working through right now as individuals and as a collective. So everything comes home to love, and the love is always within each and every one of us. I know you guys know that. Let me allow, if I could, just for just a few moments to greetings, blessings. We are Melchizedek in the Melchizedek order. We come to you. We are of the light. We serve the light. We serve the one true God of light and creation through Sananda and the hosts. We are here on this blessed day to join with you together, to let you know, to share with you on this day the awareness that we all recognize. We recognize as we are witness and collaborators with humans on Earth and other sentient beings of light. We are witness and collaborators that indeed it is so that in the last, what you would perceive to be calendar year of your linear time, the light has shifted and the light has recovered, and the light has, you could say, overturned to a great degree this experience where most humans have engaged in these forces of light against dark, where there has been great duality, where the experience of suffering has prevailed. We would like to say that this energy has shifted and turned, and while it may only be, in a measurement term, a degree or two, your planet, your galaxy, your universe, your cosmos has expanded into the light, so that now the forces of light are indeed much more great, much more powerful in response to that which you identify as the dark. This is important recognition for, while in reality all are one, and this is what is most relevant to remember, to know, to be, while all are ultimately one. And there is ultimately no dark, ultimately. In reality, you are still engaging as a collective, this game. You are engaging in this duality. And it is helpful to know, to those of you who are on the front line, so to speak, that this game has shifted in favor of the light. We would also like to invite you here now for just a few moments more to anchor in, as we have done often, to anchor in towers of hope. And it is true, as it has been said earlier, you are all pillars of light. We would like, in the presence of all of you gathered here today, to anchor in towers of hope for the collective, knowing that the collective is unaware of this shifting that is taking place for the most part, knowing that the collective is often at this time focused on their own fear-based realities. That by anchoring in as a collective group here today, towers of hope, you will uplift the hope for humanity and thereby continue to assist in shifting vibratory states of being. For right now, this is an energy that the collective of humanity is needing. So if you are all willing, it is as simple as this. Breathe in the energy of the divine force, your source, your original source, divine source, primordial source, you may call it Shakti, Chi, whatever you like, and breathe it in through your body energetically and agree now. Simply have the awareness and the willingness to anchor in towers of hope. And these towers are not necessarily indicated in any particular geographical zone, simply in and through all of Earth, all of the grids, all of the ley lines, all of the energetic spheres, all areas. Towers of hope now. Hold space and allow, trust, know, breathe, allow, and let it be done. It shall be, and so it is. Momentarily here, we will hold this space, let it complete. And so it is. We are Melchizedek, the one true God of light of creation. Has been our great honor and privilege to converse with you here. We give great thanks and we let it be. So it is. Awesome. I always get this amount of joy that comes over me after that. So just getting the energy of that joy. So thank you guys so much. Thanks, Waxela. I'm gonna mute myself again.
I'd like to first thank Waxela for holding these frequencies of light, which are so powerful that they completely blot out that 3D universe. And every time I tune into this pillar of light, as Lori is mentioning, and as each of you have talked about, each time we tune into the pillar of light, nothing else exists except a direct connection to source and that memory of who we are and why we're here. And we always have that opportunity to step into what can be seen as a pillar of protection and love. I'm Joan of Angels. My mission here is to help raise the frequencies of light, the frequencies of vibrational energy, so that we can be one with source, so that we can actually go home and complete this ascension process and lead the way. Each of you here who are listening and aligned with us have said yes to your destiny, yes to these activation energies that have stirred through you. You have said yes to stepping beyond that 3D limitation and saying, I am ready. I am ready to accept my mission. I am ready to be activated onto this ascension pathway, which is almost as if we could see it like a stairway to heaven. We could see it as being a pillar of light connected to every single other pillar of light, transforming completely energetic frequencies. But it begins with each and every one of us. It begins with our willingness to connect to the earth, our willingness to connect to the heavens, and to say, show me the way. And so as we are today here together, knowing that this is the time for which we have chosen for this ascension process, we are together because there was a time way back in our history where we came together and we began this journey. And together we are actually each holding space for one another to transform and take giant leaps into the higher realms. And as one of us accomplishes it and holds that tower of light so high, it opens a pathway for me, for you, for each and every one of us to step through it, and then to create the bar goes even higher. And collectively together, we have been reassured that this humanity will complete this ascension process, all of us together. And as we go through this, we will align with those powers and those abilities that we have had, those skills of intuition, those skills of of telepathy, those skills of clairsentience and clairvoyance, of which we know because we know because we know. And we anchor in the certainty that we are here, not just for ourselves, but we are here in service of humanity to help each and every one of us to accomplish this together. Because in reality, who wants to be the only one in an ascension plateau all alone? We are collectively, as a planet, as a species, as beyond humanity, doing this together. So we ask that each of you now take a deep breath, and let's just together send our antenna down into the center of the earth to ground us and anchor us in there, and then again send that antenna from our crown chakra all the way to the heavens. And as we send that antenna up to the heavens, imagine now and feeling it infused with that light growing brighter and brighter and brighter. And from that antenna that's up in the heavens, not only are we infusing the light within us, but we are actually radiant light towers, sending light, connecting with each and every one of your light towers, and spreading this energy of miracles, light, and love around the planet. And so allowing for that energetic upgraded frequency by our interconnections woven together, we allow for that space of miracles and step into that light. And so it is, and that is what we are here for. So many people say, what am I here for? And we are really here to hold that light. We are really here to actually hold that light and follow the guidance of that voice within, in alignment with each and every one who is also holding this light. And so it is. And so thank you so much for allowing this transmission to come through. I'm Joan of Angels. We love you. We are so grateful for all of you and for this alchemy of ascension that is happening second by second. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone who shared so far. This is absolutely beautiful. We have a few speakers that haven't spoken yet. If you wish to, we have Asil, Prageet, Nadi, who else? Maybe that's all. Would any of you like to share?
Yeah, I'm happy to go next. My name is Asil. Nice to see all of your shining faces and beautiful hearts. Thank you for sharing your beautiful energy here. Many of us have realized we've come here to serve humanity in a critical time of transformation. And in our service to humanity, we assist those that are awakening, and those that are confused about this journey of being human, confused about the transformational processes that humanity is going through and they're individually going through. And at times we're challenged ourselves by the duality that we experience within ourselves. We're not immune to being human, as we have chosen this form in order to serve as a human. And it's a beautiful form with all its roller coasters that it comes with all the emotions and the full spectrum, as well as the full potential that it carries to really hold this non-dual aspect of creation within us, this unconditional love of creation within us. And at times I look outside and I witness the challenges in the duality that I observe. And the message that I get is that the greatest battle of light and dark is happening within us, inside. And once we have faced this battle inside, all that is outside, a mere reflection of what is occurring inside, will resolve. So how can we, with courage, with love, with support, look inside even those that we are in service, especially those that go to the front lines of the challenge, that face difficult moments with clients and maybe in the world of societal challenges that we see. The strong and the light, the strong and the dark that we will witness. But in this interplay of light and dark, which is not good and evil, in this interplay of light and dark, there is the opportunity to truly tap into something much greater. The source of creation that has manifested both light and dark, and that has provided this great interplay so that we can have the experiences that we have. That human consciousness can grow and mature, learn and self-realize. And we walk this path as an example. And we touch those that want to evolve as well, that want to serve as well. First and foremost, as an example, not by just helping other people, which is a great service, but then as an example to have served oneself in one's own self-realization journey. So the evolution of consciousness, the key to it is and will always be the individual. Thank you so much for all the work and the beautiful service that you do in the world, the shining lights of example that you are, the pillars of light that you are. And all of those that are watching this, may you also be guided and supported on your journeys to be in your service and greatest support of your journey of self-realization. Blessings to you.
Okay, so I'll continue this process. My name is Prageet, and it's really beautiful to be with you all. I apologize for coming in late, technical issues, but I've just been really appreciating all that's been shared and the many different ways that we all come together to look at the reality that we're living and the reality that we're assisting, bringing about the next level of experiencing and change. I've been working with my guide Alcazar for 34 years, I think, and like many of you, we've been on this path for a long time, and the path itself is changing now. Alcazar gave me the Stargate, which is, you can see behind me, is an anchor for a higher dimensional consciousness. And that's one of the ways Alcazar described it is an interdimensional doorway. It creates a field that enables us to connect with the many guides and beings who are available to support us, to connect more readily, more easily, to feel their presence when they come into the meditation. I know many of you have experienced this directly. And I'm just going to allow Alcazar to come through and just share a few words, because we have a very special group here. Beloved ones, we greet thee. It is Alcazar, and it is a great honor for us to be here in your presence at this moment of your time. And we speak to each and every one of you hearing these words, both in this live presentation, as you might call it, and those who are listening to the recording. For in truth, it is all happening in this moment of now. And in this moment of now, it is a moment of creation. It is a moment of great potential. For eons on your timeline, and you're experiencing in the many different bodies that you have lived, lifetime after lifetime, You have been aware of the so-called conflict between the light and dark that you have been talking about. And we would agree also, it is not about light and dark as such. It is simply about vibration. Those who are trapped in a lower vibration, cycling around at that low frequency, and those such as yourself who are raising your vibration, wanting to create a space, a change. Let us say this: whilst you are in a duality, the more you bring in light, somewhere there is darkness coming in also. It has been a conflict between light and dark for so long. The issue now on your planet is duality versus oneness. It is time to bring in oneness, togetherness. It is time to bring in, if you wish to call it, the golden light of oneness that is beyond the light and the dark. That is the place from which you have come. In your Bible, it says, "Let there be light." We say to you, move back to that place beyond the introduction of duality. Move back to that place of oneness. For from that place, the light that you bring creates a gentle movement, an energetic shift on both polarities, bringing you more and more together. There is much occurring here on your planet, and there are many who are deciding in their unconsciousness to simply leave the planet right now, to step out of the confusion that is happening on your world. This is an opportunity for them to actually evolve in the other realities and come back anew, to assist what you are doing here, to assist the coming together and the elevation of that which is occurring here on your earth. As you are all familiar and aware of, there are many young people who have come in bringing in far more frequencies of awareness, understanding of who they are. And in your own ways, you are supporting them. By creating a higher vibration here on your earth, you are enabling more beings to come into the body and not be shut down by the heavy unconsciousness that has been here in the past. And we honor each and every one of you for your journey. We honor each and every one of you, what you are sharing with those who hear your words, those who experience your energetics, those that experience the love that comes through you in those moments of openness, sharing, and guiding. We deeply honor each and every one of you for this. Beloved ones, what is occurring here is not occurring in a vacuum. This earth experience experiment is not accidental. Beings from around your universe have incarnated here because, beloved ones, what occurs here affects the whole of your galaxy, the whole of your universe. There is a great potential here on your earth, not just to bring a beautiful harmony and oneness on your planet, but this oneness is already beginning to influence what is occurring on a greater scale. Deep inside, you know this. You too have been for so many lifetimes struggling with levels of unconsciousness, which you chose to do as volunteers, as part of a planetary transformation group. We honor you for the struggles that you have been through in so many lives. We honor you for holding your intention, for continuing struggling along your path. And now, beloveds, the struggle, as you know, is already becoming less and less, and that your presence is being recognized more and more. And the gifts that you share are becoming more tangible, more powerful, more loving. And so, beloved ones, know that what is occurring here is far beyond what is being seen right now. Even on a physical level, there are so many technologies waiting for the vibration on the planet to elevate a little more, so that these technologies can create health and wellness. These technologies can create a level of freedom for each and every individual. All the so-called problems on your planet can be resolved already by the beautiful energetics that are available from your star families. For individuals around your world already hold the knowledge and the experience of how to support a harmonious community here on your earth. The key, beloveds, is community. You are, in your own ways, creating communities who are aware of you. It is time for a stronger network of communities supporting each other, so that individuals do not feel alone anymore. They feel part of a greater family. And so we invite you and suggest support community, be it via your technologies as you are doing now, but in a way where people feel part of, included, valued, honored for who they are, despite their own judgments about themselves, their own unworthiness. Welcome all. Beloved ones, we speak to each and every one of you with a great honoring. That which you are desiring is occurring. And beloveds, it is actually moving faster than we had imagined from the other side of the veil. And so, in love of the oneness, in love of spirit, in love of that beingness from which you have come, we thank you. Good day.
I'll pop in. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. And I want to start off by thanking Waxela and appreciating all of your efforts in this hurricane of to-do lists. And it's wonderful to be here with everyone. I feel deeply honored, as well as to those watching and taking all of the information and inspiration in. It gives me hope to know that we are all having these conversations, and I think several of us have spoken to the duality, the light and the dark, and I certainly move back and forth between the two polarities quite regularly. And so, you know, the hour seems to call for discipline and our inner work and using all of the tools that we have. And I wanted to share an experience I had last night. I had dipped out of feeling connected, and I was out for quite a while last night. I'm here in Sedona, and it was just a beautiful night. And I have this, this way, this shifting in and out of knowing that our advanced civilizations, knowing that all of the star beings and the star races are here with us. And then sometimes I do this distancing place of like thinking that they're actually not here. And so I use this place of like, you know, I know you're here, just I want to see you. I want to be more deeply connected with you. And I forget the deep connection that is there. And so, you know, I have this homesickness, such a deep homesickness for my off-planet families, for my crew that are right here. I know my team is right here. And so in that asking, in that connecting, I had this overwhelming rush of being held in my heart and just this sense of deep love. And I was reminded that it was in my heart that then the communication opens, right? So that just expansion in my core, in my heart, then I could see everybody. Then everybody was there, and I had all of my star family talking and guiding me, and that was a wonderful experience. And so many of us have spoken about being in our heart and remembering love, and I'm simply echoing what many of us have said. But it really does take discipline, I think, in this time to use our tools, use the tools that help us to stay connected. And I love the tool of sacred geometry. It helps me bridge. You know, Amar had mentioned the bridging time right now. And the structure of the geometry and drawing these universal patterns helps take me out of my, you know, rational storytelling mind and into the present and into my heart. And so I deeply appreciate the gift of the geometry. I think Debra had said, you know, these teachings are available to us right now. And so much is really available for us to use. And, you know, many of us on this call are able to channel, we're able to transmit light language or guidance from ascended masters. But I want to speak to maybe those who don't feel so connected or don't have a channel flowing and are sitting here looking at a distance with those of us, with anybody who has that has cultivated that ability. I want to remind everybody that we all can channel, that we all are open, and that the definition, the choice point is in the languaging of how we decide that we are, right? Like I do channel, I do receive information, I am moving in this world as a harmonic instrument. And I've found that languaging is one of my biggest tools. So whether or not you're feeling connected, whether or not you're feeling disconnected, language of capacity and capability and empowerment, knowing that we can, knowing that we are love and we are of highest capacity. So that affirmation, combining with all of our other tools, it is a time of work with time of great payoff. So those are the things I wanted to add. I'm grateful to all of us who are doing the good work and walking the path, and to everyone basis. So thank you so much. Blessings.
Thank you. Thank you, Nadi, and thank you, everyone. Have all of the speakers had a chance to speak? I believe you all have. Okay. So I'd love to just move into closing. That was the opening, but that was so much more than our opening. And I'd love to just invite everyone as we close that sacred circle, that it's not really closed. We are the portals that hold this light and channel the golden realm through our energy, through our physical bodies, through our beingness to this realm. And we can feel that, and we know it in our hearts. This world is shifting and changing as we speak. and that we are all catalysts for this change. And it is beautiful, and it is sometimes tumultuous, and that we get to hold the light and the dark, be aware of the dark, but choose the light. And in our knowingness, we know that by being here now and holding this light and choosing this path, we are ushering in the new world, the golden realm, the ascension of humanity. And the earth is our beloved, anchoring us, supporting us as she moves through her shifts and ascension process. And the galactics, so many of them, the ascended masters, those divine light guides who have been guiding us from the very beginning, are all around us, holding space for us, loving us through it in pure divine love and non-judgment, allowing us to be brighter and clearer channels of the light that we are, the divine I am. I invite everyone to just take a deep breath here, anchoring this incredible container into your body, into the earth, and knowing that we have all received an upgrade, and that this upgrade is available to us always, infinitely, and it is available to all. And we hold space for the expansion of the consciousness and the beingness of humanity in this portal. And with that, I presence gratitude for all of you, you beautiful, beautiful beings that are here, that have contributed your hearts and your wisdom and your voice and your frequency to this event, to each other, to this world at this time. Our hearts are connected, and we are one in this ascension journey. I bring gratitude to all of our supporters, seen and unseen. I bring gratitude to all of the VIPs who are present and all of the people who support this work in all of your various ways. And I invite you to know that this is your work as well. We are all equal beloveds of the divine, and I am grateful for everyone. Thank you all so much for your presence, and namaste to each one of you. And I don't want to close the panel yet. We do still have 30 minutes, but that was the most beautiful opening ceremony I could ever imagine. And so now, in more traditional panel style, I would love to invite Olivia. Have you received any questions in the chat? And then for those of you who are here as participants, if you do have any questions for the group, I invite you to put a question in the chat. Okay, and then also I'd invite the speakers, the panelists, if you have questions for each other. I mean, certainly I could ask the questions, but we have such a unique opportunity here together in each other's presence that I would love to hear and have and open up for a community conversation rather than a traditional Q&A experience. So I invite that as well. And so if I open up with a question, or if someone else does, I invite everyone to just kind of, as you feel guided, just like we did in that opening, to feel free to allow yourself to just jump in, have a conversation I don't need to call on you. It's not that formal. I really want this to be loose and free and more of a conversation than a traditional Q&A style. So yeah, and if no one, and feel free to raise your hand too if you want to just speak a question. But so if nobody has anything to start with, I'll go ahead and ask the question for anyone that wants to answer. And as you all know, the theme of this show has been expanded states of consciousness. And this is something that comes through in a lot of the interviews, but I really want to presence it again. As being human is, we might touch into those states time and time, on and off, and have our moments. But it's really hard for so many people to hold their expanded states of consciousness in the craziness of things like hurricanes and all of the things that happen to us as humans, traumas, accidents, arguments, incidents, relationship breakups, and all of these things happen in life. So I just love to put it out there. And again, with succinct answers, so as many as possible can contribute. What are your absolute best tips or ways to bring yourself back up when you find yourself, Nadi, like you said, sort of dipping down into disconnection or that feeling of, oh, I don't feel connected right now? And for anyone that would like to contribute, just open that up to the group.
I'd love to answer that. I have a unique perspective on this, so I've really learned the hard way. And for years, I've been teaching people how to actually feel the presence of their angelic wings and feel the presence of their fifth dimensional angelic beingness within their body. And so I've taught how you can really bring your shoulders, your wings back, because that's the other name for your scapula is wings. So I've taught how you can bring your shoulders back and then start to feel that presence of the divine entering you, and how important it is to walk around, to not even leave my home until I've actually incorporated this feeling in my body, so that wherever I go, or when I step into Starbucks or the market, I reincorporate this energetics, because I've learned the hard way that if I don't, there's a disconnect, and I sort of can either fall more easily into that 3D energetics or get kind of attacked. So really incorporating this within our body and really feeling it, because when you really feel it, you can literally feel your wings pop. All right, well, that's my tool. That's how I keep that consciousness out in the world.
Thank you, Joan. I love that. Yeah, just flex your wings.
All right, spread those wings, guys.
Waxela, I wanted to share this, as you and I have had quite an interesting experience with Ian hurricane, and ours with the mandatory evacuation, and where we were and we left, and we've been communicating along. And sometimes it's very interesting. We can prepare ourselves very well, and yet we get into this particular position. And the key is like when we're really, really in the thick of it. And it is like mine last month, out of nowhere, I had this vicious food poison. It was horrific, that level of food poison. It was just daunting. And in that moment, when you are just, you're baffled and kind of surprised, but not really surprised, how horrific you feel. How do you find the angel wings, right? How do you find that breath? How are you, like, practical purposes, you're on the toilet, you can't even function. It's like the worst of the worst you're experiencing. What I discovered in that moment, it was so interesting. I was like, wow, I'm still loved. It was so interesting while I was going through it, so tumultuous. I couldn't even hold anything, and I said, wow, nothing is happening to me. It's happening for me. That was the only thing that I was able to experience from a place of divine's grace is still touching me in some way. I don't know how it is. It's horrible what my physical temple is experiencing. I know it's going to be magnificent later, but holy shizzle, this just sucks as I'm going through it. And just that deep knowing that I am loved. I am loved, even though this is horrific. It gave me just that sacred flame, courage to still be able to maneuver through it, which, as you saw, was, it was unheard of me 2 weeks to get myself together. It was just like, wow, this is unbelievable, but here we go. I'm supposed to have this experience. So I feel sometimes we can really, really prepare ourselves. It's so wonderful. And we all do. We really just dabble into that, and we do. And yet when we're in it, is to remember not to lose the hope, because very easily we can get so pulled down into the physical experience of that tremendous hardship, and we can sort of, for few seconds or maybe few minutes or few hours, disconnect from the origin of source. Yet when we train ourselves in that, even in this, I'm loved, we can navigate it and then really be open in receiving the gifts that are here, that are now being pardoned upon us in its reception. So just wanted to share that, because we're going to experience all kinds of things, and that too is part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, honey. I know that was a crazy time, and you came out beautiful as always.
I
Thank
want
you.
to touch on something, if I could jump in here.
Yeah,
Lightstar here.
yeah,
Hi,
go ahead.
everybody. One thing I've noticed is that when we think about the term oneness, becoming oneness and being in this high state of oneness, and I have one of the things that we do when we're moving into that state is we sometimes think that oneness means, okay, we're part of the all, but what it doesn't mean is that we have to agree with everyone and everyone's different perspectives and everyone's different belief systems and what they're about to be in the state of oneness. So I think sometimes too, and someone mentioned this too in the one of the comments, or one of the questions, I guess, was about oneness, and I was thinking about this, is that it's more about acknowledging people for who they are and accepting whatever it is that they believe, so that that's raising your frequency, that's raising their frequency. You're honoring them for who they are, not for, okay, we have to be in one, so we all have to think the same way and we all have to feel the same way. And we're all, that's not really, in my view, what oneness is. It's really more of a blending of the highest versions of who we are, and that we accept and appreciate everybody for their each unique perspectives on things. And so we let people, go through their experiences too, as well, and not take those things away from them and feel like you have to think this way or do this, or whatnot. So I think by the nature of allowing, and that loving allowance, we talk about with grace and ease, the loving allowance, we step into oneness, and then we allow other people to be who they are, to have their belief systems, just to be honored. I mean, how many times is it just when you listen to somebody speaking, they just feel appreciated because you actually heard them. You heard what they had to say, and that what they had to say is very important. And so that in and of itself can tend to raise it up, and it makes it a little easier for us all to step into oneness, not feeling like we have to be at this, high super level and everyone's thinking the same thing. It's like, well, we can step into oneness at any moment, at any time. And especially with our fellow brothers and sisters out there who don't have to think the same way. So maybe it's just because I'm an Aquarian. I actually feel that, where the brotherly, sisterly love, where all is just accepted and loved. But I think it's really important, especially when we're trying to change, people, or, we can't really do that because, well, obviously it doesn't work and it's not really what we're here to do. But to accept and honor, that is something that automatically can get us all into oneness without all the division and separation that we're seeing right now. I think that's a really big piece of it. So that's what I wanted to say.
I just want to jump in real quick. Thank you so much, Lightstar. Everyone, my name is Olivia. You're not seeing my name, and I'm helping Waxela moderate. Lightstar just answered a question that came from Mike, which was, as a leader in the community bringing oneness, also working in the Bible Belt, how do we address unifying through the message we are all one instead of avoiding the topic? How do you suggest we meet the churches where they stand so we can successfully reach everyone in a community with a unified message? So Lightstar touched upon that. And I feel also that question is probably relevant to the previous questions also. As we all know, there's always a connection with everything. Some of the questions that were asked previously were, what and where are the light codes coming from? And how can we accelerate crystal technology? And is it possible to integrate infused light codes into it as well?
My name is Sue. I'm a participant, not one of the presenters. I found myself realizing that there's sort of a beginner tool that maybe some of us forget as we get farther and farther along, and that is simply to breathe. I know I've woken in the middle of the night sometimes ruminating about something, and I just used, in the past, that would take me for hours. And now I just stop and I go, oh, yes, breathe. And just breathing, and especially using your little introductory meditation, Waxela, takes me right out of it.
Yeah.
That can be really quick and simple.
Yeah.
And I also just wanted to share that the first spontaneous feeling of oneness that I ever had was in an airport, a very busy airport. I suddenly realized I was madly in love with every single person in that room. And they clearly were all in different places, different mindsets, different moods, but it didn't matter. And if you can just see everybody as spirit, it's much easier. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. Okay, let's open up to the panelists on any of those questions, whether it's the unification and religion question or light codes. There were some wonderful questions asked, so I'm just going to open it up. And who feels called? Lori?
I would love, I would love to address. I mean, it'll probably overlap all three questions, but where do light codes exist? Where are they coming from? So light codes exist in everything, everywhere. They're everywhere. They are basically emanating in and through all, permeating through all of reality. It's up to us to allow them to be revealed to ourselves. And that's a process that sort of starts to happen organically. But let me just say, they are in your own DNA, they're in your Akashic records. You can discover them there. They are radiating out through, yes, the crystals hold them as record keepers, especially Lemurian crystals, but definitely certain crystals are tasked as their divine mission to hold light codes. The solar light, sunlight, there's light codes in everything, everywhere. And we get to uncover them and discover them. And one of the best places, in my opinion, if I'm going to use the word best, is your own DNA. Because this is why, not to go to that whole storyline, but that's why there's been a global collection effort of DNA, right? Your DNA is your most sacred in the physical form. That's your most sacred possession, so to speak, because it has everything you need. It has every code that you need to reveal to your own self about about whatever you need for healing, your own healing. It has solutions for humanity. It has the solutions for, I mean, in my own DNA, I discovered and uncovered, and this isn't like, so now it's like nothing, but years ago, 4 years ago, it was a big deal. Codes of imperviousness and immunity to any and all viruses. Like, we have that in our DNA, and they have to be activated and awakened, right? But it's up for us to discover and reveal what lies within and in all that is. It's omnipresent, omni-available, and through the inquiry and the willingness to not know, but to be like a seeker, an inquirer, with that humility of desiring to reveal what is available to oneself, you will find it. It is there for you. It's there for all of us. And just, I think I did mention that, obviously I mentioned the DNA, but this question was specifically about the 24 strands. So yeah, I mean, the evolution of the human species is going to be one where we're actively engaging with potentially way more than 24 strands, unlimited potential. We get to reveal that, like everything, to ourselves. So it is not only possible, but in my opinion, it is like a requirement for your ascension to start working with your own DNA and to learn how to play with and awaken what is dormant. And of course, that does involve also clearing out what I refer to as the corrupted DNA, which is the first 2 strands. It's not that it's corrupted, it's just that that's where sickness, illness, disease, stories from the ancestors that we took on, what we call like a lot of our traumas, deeply held traumas, are kind of stored there. So we need to get in there, clean that up, right? And as we're doing that, like simultaneously, we're accessing solution from the other strands of DNA, which start to be basically activated organically, but also with intention, light, sound, frequency. So if all of this sounds like really out there to somebody who's listening and they're like, I wouldn't even know where to begin, then all you need to do is get with, I mean, I know that's something I do for a living. I've been doing DNA activations for, well over 12 years now, for myself, for animals, for large groups of people. But just get with someone who can help you to learn, because you have it within you to do it. But what really makes it happen is, again, vibration. So you need to be interacting with a being or a consciousness that is at such a pure frequency that it's the spark, in a sense, the vibration that sparks and ignites the DNA in someone who doesn't yet know how to do it for themselves. So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Lori. Beautiful. Prageet, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like just to share a little bit about what Alcazar's talked about in terms of the DNA. And he says we're all very familiar with our physical DNA, which comes from our parents and our grandparents and so on. But he also talks about a higher dimensional DNA, which is the DNA which carries the information about our past lives, our past abilities. We've lived 100 lifetimes maybe, and we've all lived in very different places and very different experiences. And as Laurie was saying, it's all about your vibration. There's all kinds of information, and if you want to call it light codes, you can, but there's information stored within your DNA that allows you to access, for example, if you've lived a life in abundance where everything's flowed to you with ease, that memory and the vibration that you hold that attracts that into your life, it's there. It's dormant within that DNA. And as you just heard, that as you raise your vibration, it starts to change the very coding within the DNA. And one of the things that we've been working with the Stargate is creating an energetic field. And the way that happens is that the Stargate creates a 12th dimensional vibration. And it's just a vibration, not to get attached with numbers. But in that vibration, people can sense the presence of the various guides that we invite into the room. And by inviting a number of the masters and the angelic realms and different guides, it creates such a powerful vibration in the space that people's, simply by relaxing, doing nothing, their vibration starts to elevate. You start to harmonize with the enlightened energies around you. And what we find in that is that it starts to dissolve some of the lower frequencies that have been programmed into the DNA, and people start to find that illness drops away. For example, that abilities from their past start to return. We have many people suddenly discovering that they are healers, that they know how to heal, and that it starts to simply happen again in their lives. But it works in so many different ways. And so what Laurie was saying about vibration is absolutely true. How do we create a field that can allow us to be in a higher vibration for long enough, if we have the intention to be free, long enough to start reprogramming back into our natural state, our DNA? And that's something that we've been working with the Stargate, and it's amazing. It's too much time to go into it now, but it's incredible how changes can happen with ease and grace, just with our intention and our availability to the beyond. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Prageet. Beautiful. Would someone else like to comment on any of those questions? Amar?
Yeah, I think, and this is maybe more relative to, I think it was Mike's question about the idea of oneness, but I think in terms of just talking about energy and our beingness, more and more I find myself sitting with this realization that unconditional love is a neutral state, and that really to simply be in the space of wherever we are and whoever we're with is allowing that frequency of unconditional love to come in. And that I think oftentimes I know I fall into the idea of like, okay, what can I do? What am I supposed to do here? What action can I take? How can I help? How can I support? How can I heal? How can I shift? Whatever. But I think just realizing that unconditional love is a neutral state. So for me, it always begins and ends with being. And simply in the presence of someone who may disagree or who may have a belief system that doesn't necessarily align with mine or whatever, to simply be. And Lightstar was talking about that, just being in the presence of someone, listening to them, allowing them to be as they are, allowing them to be who they believe themselves to be in whatever form that takes, and simply being present as a source of unconditional love, as a source of neutrality. And to remember that it's not necessarily always about rejecting or accepting or denying or seeking or chasing or trying to get rid of something. Certainly, we will be asked to take action. But for me, it always begins and ends with simply being in the presence. And one of the things that I constantly use to recenter myself, and Nadi talked about this, the dedication and the devotion, is to be in that presence with myself and remember that it's not good or bad. It's simply a question of value. And saying to myself, okay, I don't have to be right. I don't have to be wrong. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be bad. I can just trust that there's value in this experience. That's why I am experiencing it. And I don't even have to know what that value is. I can simply rest in the neutrality of unconditional love, and also with myself. When I'm feeling reactive, when I'm feeling frustrated, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, to just bring that presence and sit with myself and pull that child close and let it have a tantrum or a cry or whatever it needs to have, and to return to that state of unconditional love, of neutrality over and over. And I wanted to touch on what Nadi said about drawing the sacred geometry. For me, that really opened things up. And I think the question about DNA and the question about crystals, for me, everything is geometry. Light codes are geometry, and geometry is in all things. So those light codes are present. You know, this pen has geometry. So there's light codes in this pen. So this idea that somehow these very high level concepts are separate from us, or that it's something we have to find or acquire or achieve, all of that information is available all of the time on multiple levels. So for me, it always begins and ends with just neutrality and finding that space of simply being, and then asking, okay, Spirit, what is the value here? Would you have me be a witness, or would you have me be a participant? Sometimes, you know, that state is going to require different things from me. But in the end, and at the lack of any other knowledge, just be. And in that surrender of any sort of state or trying to acquire or achieve something, to me, that's where deep wisdom arises. It says, okay, this is what I would have you do. Thank you, everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you. Phyllis, you typed in a comment. Did you want to share it out loud or have us read it? It's really lovely.
I switched microphones. Can you hear me better now?
I can, yes.
Okay, good. So I'll just read it. So this was what was coming to me as I was listening to everyone. So I will share here that I trust that standing fully in the power of one's message and being a living and ultimately a leading example of one's truth and message allows others to see and experience a truth or new message in action, providing others with new potentiality and opportunity to grow, expand, alter one's original beliefs, and acquire a new way of being. So that's what I'd wanted to share.
Thank you. Yeah, beautiful.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Sure. Go ahead, Sharnael.
So what's coming to me too is our ability to radiate and shine through the cells, through the DNA code. Everything that we're thinking about, talking about, and definitely feeling is part of what's projected into the field, as well as that signature code, which I think Lori was talking about with the DNA. And when I'm going through whatever or dealing with clients, I always try to help people remember about the sun in general. You know, the sun's job is just to shine and radiate. There's no stopping the sun. And you can have a day where you just feel bad and you can like maybe cuss the sun out or throw stones at it or what have you. It's not going to stop doing its job. It's going to keep shining. And there may be even like the illusion that it's not there because some clouds kind of filtered or, you know, came in between, but the sun is still doing its job. It's still shining. And if you've ever been in a plane on top of where the clouds blanket is, you could see lights up here, and then there's this blanket, right? And so as opposed to the sun, we have like sponges that just take on everything that's going on. And so I would just encourage people to remember to observe and not absorb, and just to keep that shine in the midst of it, and just remember who you are in that alignment. Because like, I think it was Lori that was saying with the DNA activations and the signature code that we all carry through our generations and or what we've grown up in and the programming with the environment, we have that opportunity just to blaze and radiate. And when I work with people, I can actually test what their width is of the biofield and what their radius is. And so I encourage people, like, if you have a 20-foot radius of your field, then what you're thinking, talking about, feeling, you're actually igniting people. They may not know it, but as you're walking through the store, the post office, whatever, you know, like people could be feeling things by your projection without even realizing that it's coming from you. And it's just a remembering of that, and piggybacking on what Amar said. And I think Mike was talking about, you know, the unity consciousness, you know, just being really mindful and careful. If we get into judgment, then we're actually judging ourselves, because the frontal lobe is right here, and then behind that's the limbic system, and that is what really helps us see and get that mirror of what's coming to us is really just us. And so we have our biofield, everyone else has a biofield, everything that's alive has a biofield, including the earth. And when we judge, that limbic system can't tell the difference between if you're judging yourself or if you're judging you. There is no time and space. There's no you and me, you know, so every time we send a judgment, which is unconditional love, we actually judge ourselves, put that in the field, and then start attracting judgment to us. So we'll start having people show up like trolling us or, you know, whatever, which is again, unconditional love and the code of unconditional love. So the more we can just align, remember, stay in our power and keep blazing that radiation out, the better patterns we're going to get, the better people are going to come into our lives, the better situations are going to happen, abundance happens, you know, it kind of hits all of it. You can't like pee in the pool and hope it doesn't get anywhere. There's not a smoking section with energy. You know, it's like whatever you are is what you get, and you get that match. So it's really, really important just to remember and to get centered regular. Also pay attention to who you're hanging out with, because again, that radius, if you're hanging around with lower people and you're not being mindful and of really hitting that radiation, then actually they can take from you, they can suck from you, they can pull energy from you, and also you can integrate to a lower vibration. And so, you know, alignment's really important, collaborations are really important, who you're collaborating with, what you're doing, you know, and just remembering, so you start attracting those people in your life that are going to be at your highest and your best in the middle of all this. But last thing is just nature, going back to codes. Get outside, dude, you know, be in the light. You know, there's so much sacred geometry in nature, and that can recode you. It only takes like 30 minutes to hear ocean to completely get into theta. And just to put your feet in the water, you can go into theta in like minutes. And same thing, your whole chemistry can change just by grounding and putting your actual feet on the ground. The earth, the trees, like hugging a tree, all those things are like actually real and scientific. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to like research and stuff. And I really look at like the biochemistry of people after they've done this and then that, and the difference between all those things, or adding certain things to your field, like crystals or certain kinds of essential oils or what have you, or even a person or a plant or animals. Oh my God, animals, like, I mean, a cat can purr at 157 megahertz. And so we're 67 megahertz on a healthy adult day, and that's why a cat may come over and be like, hey, you know, let me give you a boost, and they just can raise you right up. So there's all kinds of modalities, everything, you know, we have so many things at our fingertips, but just remembering, you know, being in that unconditional love, like Amar was talking about, I believe he's here, wherever he went, and, you know, just paying attention to what we're thinking about, what we're talking about, and what we're feeling. And if you feel sad, don't deny it and push it down, because then it just lodges in the body, and it's going to come up again bigger and bigger and bigger in the message until we do something about it. If you feel sad, just own it and be like, you know what, I'm feeling sad. And crying is such a big detox. There are some things that will not detox in any other way. Liver cleanses, you know, all this, the colonics, whatever, they will not detox, but it will only come through tears. So give yourself a break. If you're feeling sad, maybe that's just a time to detox, so those things aren't lodged in your body anymore. So again, hey, you're so awesome. Thanks for putting this together, and so cool to meet all you guys that I mean, I've never met any of you. So this is like super cool to be in the vibe of all of you and your presence today. And you guys are awesome. Thanks.
Thank you, Sharnael. Wonderful. So I want to acknowledge that we're a little bit over time. I know we have an incredibly wonderful speaker panel with very busy lives, and I want to honor that. So I am going to end our recording now, and I'm also going to invite, you know, for anyone on the speaker panel, or, you know, also watching, if you want to stay another 10 or 15 minutes, I'll stop recording, and then we can stay and chat. But I want to honor for everyone that needs to leave the time. And so I just want to end with so much gratitude and love for all of you. I'm so proud of everyone here. I'm so proud of just this beautiful portal that was created today, and the energy and the experience that you all offered in your contribution. And whether you shared a lot or not much, you shared a lot. You all contributed energetically with your smiling faces and your presence and your fields and your light. And that is powerful. And so I deeply, deeply cherish and appreciate you all. Thank you for being part of my world and my container. I have collaborations lined up with some of you. I've collaborated with some of you in the past, and I look forward to doing more collaborations with you in the future. And with that, I love you all, and I hope to see you all very soon. Thank you.